Some of the places that you might be familiar with here on St. Paul Avenue are Bachman Furniture, the original Sobelman's Pub and Grill, and BBC Lighting. But a place that you might not be familiar with is this parking lot behind me at 1806 West St. Paul Avenue. Well, there's just a parking lot here today. There used to be a very popular Milwaukee bar here called the Sunflower Inn. Now, there were lots of bars in the city, but something that was special about this bar was the woman who ran it.
Hi, I'm Christina Ward. I'm a Milwaukee native, and I'm the Vice President of Feral House Publishing. And recently we brought back the story of the infamous Dirty Helen Cromwell, whose speakeasy / tavern is 1806 West St. Paul Avenue. Unfortunately, the building itself was torn down, but at the time it was a small tavern, one of the house-style taverns in Milwaukee, where the front room was turned into a bar during speakeasy days. Helen was an institution on St. Paul Avenue. Starting in the early 1920s, as she opened her speakeasy, she catered to the factory workers in this area. One of her specialties with the speakeasy was that she operated during the daytime and not the nighttime. So she was open by 10 a.m. to get lunch crowd, and that was another one of her innovations as a bar owner, is if you came in to drink at Helen's, you got a free lunch. So she was packed to the gills. Later on, after Prohibition was repealed, she went legal, and Helen's became a hot spot. She was famous for serving only two kinds of alcohol. You could get a scotch or you could get a bourbon, and anything else got you an earful. That was where she got her nickname, Dirty Helen, not because she was unhygienic, but she had a filthy, 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 filthy mouth, so much so that I cannot repeat any of the things that she would tell to customers. As time moved on, in the 40s and 50s, her place became the spot for nightlife. It was the most famous dive bar in Milwaukee. For everyone from the president of Miller Brewing to traveling movie stars to big band leaders of the day all spent time at Helen's. It was a tiny place, 4 chairs when she decided to finally get chairs. Otherwise, it was a matter of having a stand-up piano, and everybody threw their coats on the floor, and you just sat and drank until you had a good time. And if you weren't having a good time, that means you needed to have another drink. Helen Cromwell had so many great stories, and everyone told her to write a book, so she did. In 1966, she published her memoir / autobiography called Dirty Helen. I'd heard about it. It had been long out of print, and so in 2019, we decided to bring it back. We modernized it a bit, meaning we put all the swear words back in, and we changed the name to Good Time Party Girl, which is how she referred to herself, as so many folks across the country did not remember who Dirty Helen Cromwell was. So we wanted to bring that back for folks. When we started working on the project, we reached out to our favorite local Milwaukee distiller, Guy Rehorst at Great Lakes Distillery, because he too, growing up in Milwaukee, was familiar with the legend of Dirty Helen, and a Guy had the best idea ever.
So after Christine reached out to us, we decided Helen, being a strong woman who liked bourbon, deserved a strong bourbon. So we came out with our Dirty Helen bourbon, which is barrel strength. This particular batch is up to 128.2 proof, so it's pretty strong stuff. I think Helen would have appreciated that. My mother and father returned to Milwaukee in the 1950s, and after the first release of Dirty Helen bourbon, I was talking to my mother about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, your father and I used to go down there." So we knew Dirty Helen. So that was kind of cool.